Pretty amazing. Everyone got quiet. I didn't even call the meeting to order, and everyone got really quiet. That's great. No, it's good to see everyone this morning, so I'll call this regular meeting of the Simpson County Fiscal Court to order, and I'm going to ask Magistrate Scott Poston if he would lead us in a prayer, and we'll follow that with a pledge to the flag.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you, Lord, for this day and the many blessings that you've given us in life. Father, we just pray that you'll be with our first responders. Lord, we just pray that you'll be with our police, our sheriff, state police, keep all those folks safe. Father, we just thankful for our armed forces, both overseas and here at home. Father, we just pray that everything that's done and said here today is pleasing to you. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may notice we got an empty seat up here this morning. Our county attorney's a little under the weather and wasn't able to make it out this morning, so keep him in your thoughts if you would. Do we have anyone here for public comment? All right. I do know we have with us today Miss Luann Ferguson, and she's going to come and the gentleman talk to us about the possibility of putting together a cemetery board, like a cemetery preservation board, that would deal with overseeing and taking care of some of our older historic cemeteries. So, Luann?
Did you email them the things that I had emailed you?
No, I did not. I'm sorry.
Well, I can get all that forwarded to you. Yes, I'm here today to request that you form a county cemetery preservation board. Not as so much as a regulatory agency, but as an informational system. There are some grants that are available from various sources and for preservation of older cemeteries that are, say, abandoned or limited or in some way. It is more likely that we would get one if there's a county cemetery preservation board. The Kentucky Historical Society has lots of resources on how to deal with old cemeteries. I have been studying up on graveyard preservation because there are things to do, things not to do on old tombstones. A lot of the things that people like to do can actually harm tombstones. So I see this as an educational opportunity. The requirements by the KRS, don't ask me the numbers, are that it be, I think it has to have 5 members and meet 4 times a year. I see the meetings as being more like a program. Get a speaker in from the Kentucky Historical Society or someone that deals with how to preserve old tombstones. And I do know people at this, so I would be happy to do that kind of thing. And so if you all have any questions, if Mason can email this KRS stuff. And
maybe send that back to me, because I'm not sure. I may have displaced that email. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But here's a question I have, because I know we get this a lot. In fact, Bobby and I have talked about it to entrances to different, county, older cemeteries. So, and a lot of times they're just wanting to dress up the entrance, and really all the county can do is take care of the road or the right-of-way, between the road and the entrance. We can't really fix the drive into the cemetery. If we had a board, and I'm not saying we would, but we'd have a possibility of getting some grants that maybe could handle some things like that.
The grants run the gamut of what they would cover.
Okay.
So a lot of times it's access, it's just fixing the walls, and you specify what you're requesting.
Do you know, because I don't know the answer to this, do you know how many old or historic cemeteries we have in Simpson County?
There's Brown Book you can get at the Historical Society, and other than the ones that are under the city control, and then Sulphur Springs, Pilot Knob, and I think Blackjack, most of them, but Hillsdale, either a church or a trust takes care of very, very few. So I would say there are hundreds.
Because I mean, I know we have several county cemeteries that are like in a fence with the brown historic markers on them.
I thought the Historical
The
Society.
Historical Society organized that. We can still order those, because
Okay.
there are a few that aren't marked.
Okay.
And those were done by volunteers, people, somebody in the family.
Right.
And they cost less than $50.
So I'm asking these questions, and just so you guys know, Luann and I have not talked about any of this prior to right now, so she has no idea what I'm about to ask her. But I'm asking this for our benefit here. If we put this board together, I mean, the county would have to organize or form the board.
Right.
You could bring us possible members' names that would be interested in
Yes.
serving on the board.
Don't you normally ask for public
Well-
applications for being on the board?
Usually we beg and borrow to get people to be on the board. I mean, my point being, there would be no cost to the county
No.
for having this board.
Other than maybe paper, to print things or,
Yeah.
the facility. Although the new history center would be, it's easier to get to. I mean, for shorter people, for people who have accessibility issues.
Jailer, you have a question?
I think they just passed some new legislation for the jails to help with this.
Really? Because I understood they couldn't.
It's been that way for a long time. There was a lot of us that lobbied for this. I'm gonna do some checking, but if it's the way I think it is, and is this a nonprofit situation?
Oh, yeah, this is simply a volunteer organization.
Okay.
I see it more for educational purposes.
If this is possible, I'm interested because this is something that I wanted to do back when I started, but I couldn't because of the legislation.
Oh,
And I think me and Marty actually talked about it several times. The problem with us was the ingress, the right way.
Yeah, there are some that are so inaccessible, but KRS also covers that.
That's what I don't know.
The cinemas have to be allowed access, and it has to be, it's not like you can just walk up and demand any time. But if it's a place that's like in the middle of the field, there is no road anymore, you have to, the owner's supposed to work with you. And
Well, you can't drive through the crops.
no, you have to walk.
Right, because some of them are in the middle of a field.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and that's gets my primary question is, we want to put this board together. You're requesting that we put the board together so that we can have some oversight to taking care of these older cemeteries. And any work that would be done would either be volunteer work or work done through grant proceeds that we would be able to hopefully obtain. It wouldn't really, you're not really making a request for a line item budget
No.
with the fiscal court to set aside X amount of dollars every year to.
No.
Okay.
I don't see that as, it's really a family cemetery is a family responsibility.
Yeah.
When there's nobody left,
Yeah.
it makes it really
Yeah.
tough. And then there are, I've been working on finding descendants of some particularly old cemeteries that need some serious attention.
Yeah.
You should see the looks of amazement when I tell somebody, you're descended from these people and that cemetery's a wreck. And they're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But their interest, and there's been a lot of interest on the Growing Up in Franklin
Yeah.
Facebook page.
Yeah.
People will say, there's an old cemetery and so-and-so, why isn't somebody taking care of it? And my usual response is, why don't you? If it concerns you, it is,
Well,
it
I
is,
think
it is our responsibility, the greater our.
I think a lot of people there's people that would like to do it, but they're concerned about getting on somebody's property or,
And I think
the
the
legal
KRS
aspects and all that. So
I think KRS only deals with descendants, somebody who has a personal
Yeah.
interest in it. But I've not run into any property owners that were in Simpson County
Yeah.
that balk.
So is there requirements about how many board members? I mean, do you need 5?
4 or 5.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of weeks since I've read that.
Yeah.
If they need somebody from fiscal court, I'd be happy to.
to serve on the board?
Yes.
So that would be a good idea. If we could get 5 citizen members and we could appoint a court member to the
And I
board.
think I can get that
Okay.
easily enough. There
I mean-
are enough people around the county that are involved now, but just there's so many little cemeteries.
Yeah, yeah.
There's one right up there by me that hadn't had much of nothing, hadn't had anything done. And it's got, Confederate, people that served as
Soldiers and
Yeah,
stuff.
soldiers and all.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm really here as Vice Regent of the Daughters of the American Revolution. I'm not from the Historical Society. I'm not, I'm a member, but I'm not a board member or anything. And we have already started, we cleaned all the World War I gravestones during the 100th anniversary. And it's now the 75th anniversary of World War II. And we looked at that list and went, So we're going to
That'd be a pretty big list.
Oh, gosh, it's thousands. We're going to do the ones that died in World War II.
Oh,
We
yeah.
decided we could manage that many.
Yeah. Do y'all have any other questions or any reservations about performing So do we don't have council here to do this, so in lieu of not having council, I'm going to suggest that we make a motion in a second to authorize the formation of the Simpson County Historical Cemetery Preservation Board. 5 members with 1 fiscal court member.
Should we do that now or wait until we do have council?
Well, just that we put it together, and then she'll bring us, that we all agree that we'll do it, and then we'll get the members together and appoint members to the board.
All right. You may take, like, the Legion or AMVETS or VFW, some of the retired veterans might be willing to help with this.
There are lots of, I was going to write an article for the paper. Megan will print anything.
So I would take it you would serve on the board.
I would like to.
So we would need 4 more people to be willing to serve, and then Marty's volunteered to be the fiscal court member, so we just need 4 appointments.
And the requirement is to meet 4 times a year, and I see that as being program type things, and then other meetings, I guess, not being up on the KRS, can be called by the board as they need to.
So,
Your signature might be required on things like grant requests.
right. I'm assuming we'll make that motion, and then it'll be subject to the board appointments. Yeah. Did you have it written down how I put all that together?
Not exactly.
But it's close enough. So I think Scott's ready to make a motion.
He did.
Oh.
I think Myron did make.
Oh, Myron made a motion?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
that on it.
All right, so Myron's made a motion to form the board, and Scott has seconded that motion, and with board appointments to come.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luann.
Myron
Yes.
Scott Poston.
Yes.
Nathaniel Downing.
Yes.
Marty Chandler.
Yes.
Mason Barnes.
Yes. All right, gentlemen, if you've had an opportunity to review the minutes of our January 7th regular meeting, I would just need a motion and a second to approve those minutes, if there's no changes or corrections.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion by Marty and a second by Nate.
Marty Chandler.
Yes.
Nathaniel Downing.
Yes.
Scott Poston.
Yes.
Myron
Yes.
Mason Barnes.
Yes. Next, gentlemen, if you've had the opportunity to review the chain of command order of affiliation, it's Executive Order number 2020-01-21. That just puts together a chain of command in the event of a declared emergency. Is there anything, Bob, that you'd like to explain about it, or?
We do it every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a requirement to bring the fiscal court, emergency management, and the rescue squad all on the same page.
Yeah.
So moved.
All right, Marty's made a motion. Scott second. Any question or discussion? All right. Pam, I guess we're ready.
Marty Chandler.
Yes.
Scott Poston.
Yes.
Myron Herman.
Yes.
Nathaniel Downing.
Yes.
Mason Barnes.
Yes. Next, gentlemen, is another resolution that I think has been done the past 2 or 3 years, as we need to review and approve an authorizing resolution number 220-01-21 RDAAP. It's a Regional Development Agency Assistance Program where we get TVA money for industrial authority projects. It would be money in the amount of $102,564.10 to help do some work in the Henderson Industrial Park.
Motion move.
Got a motion by Nate to approve that resolution.
I'll second it, but I have a question.
All right, so we got a second question.
This road is going to connect Garvin Lane to Eddings Road.
Yes.
We would need to take into consideration, we'll probably have to put some money in for Eddings Road.
Well,
Because
we will at some point. The initial is going to be, and I think we talked about this in Industrial
Yeah.
Authority meeting, we're going to post that road that there will be no truck traffic allowed on Eddings Road. It'll only be employee.
Yeah, but that road's not wide enough for a lot of car traffic.
Oh, I know.
So
That's a city street down there.
Yeah,
The city's taking that up.
yeah.
right, well,
I don't think you're gonna be able to access that park from Gettys Road.
No.
I just know
It's gonna be a
those people live on that road are in my district. When this road goes through, I'm gonna be getting phone calls because they're gonna be
Well,
concerned about the traffic.
It's
So-
headed towards Gettys Road, but it's not gonna connect in.
Is it not going to make the
I
connection?
don't think so at this
It
point.
says right here it is.
I thought it was going to connect too.
It says the new road will open up at least 4 major lots, and it says that will
Yeah.
connect Garvin Lane and Eddings Road.
Well, the road project's already been approved. This is for infrastructure items in addition to the road.
Okay.
The $300,000 grant that we got was for the road project.
All I'm saying,
Yeah.
I just wanted to express that concern.
Yeah, I understand.
That we will need to look at, or the city or industrial board, somebody will need to look at redoing that road.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be made a lot wider, even if it's no semis on it, if it's just cars.
And the tough thing would be, even when you post no through truck traffic, it doesn't mean they're not going to get on the road.
I know a lot of truck drivers that can't even read, so.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get that resolved. But we have a motion by Nate and a second by Marty. Any other discussion or questions?
Nathaniel County,
Yes.
Marty Chandler,
Yes.
Scott Poston,
Yes.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Mason Barnes,
Yes. Next, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review employee resolution number 2020-01-21 EMP, this is just a resolution on some employees that have went through and passed some different certifications. And if there's no question or discussion, we need a motion and a second to approve that employee resolution. It's for the public's knowledge, it's some firefighters that have completed some trainings.
Somebody. Second.
Got a motion by Marty and a second by Nate.
Marty Chandler,
Yes.
Nathaniel County,
Yes.
Scott Poston,
Yes.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Mason Barnes,
Yes. Next, gentlemen, we discussed this in our last meeting. Bobby brought this to our attention and we discussed it and we all agreed to go forward. But one thing we failed to do was actually vote to authorize the Neely Road easement at Highway 103. So we do need to make a motion in a second to authorize the county attorney to put together those easements and get that all taken care of.
Somebody.
Motion by Marty,
Second.
second by Myron.
Marty Chandler,
Yes.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Scott Poston,
Yes.
Nathaniel County,
Yes.
Mason Barnes,
Yes. Moving on to financial business, if you've had an opportunity to review the budget transfers, we just need a motion and a second to approve those.
Motion move.
Motion by Nate,
Second.
second by Myron.
Nathaniel County,
Yes.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Scott Poston,
Yes.
Marty Chandler,
Yes.
Mason Barnes,
Yes. Next, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review the bills and claims, we need a motion and a second.
Mason, before the claims, the cash transfer from the general to the 911.
Yeah, we do have, so here, we do have to make a transfer from the general fund to the 911 fund. If y'all recall, we agreed to pay for that software, for the Simpson County Water District, and we actually received that, invoice. It was a couple of $1,000s less than what they had said it would be, but we'd made a motion and voted to do that, but we're having to transfer that money. Had the invoice not come in, for the first time in a long time, we had the funds to cover our 911 invoice from the KSB, but we didn't have hardly enough money to cover our invoice to KSB and cover this fee for the Water District software. But there again, I think they had quoted us like $37,500 or $37,900, and I think the actual bill was $35,000 and just a little bit. So we do need, I guess we need a motion and a second to authorize that cash transfer.
So moved.
Motion by Myron, second by Scott.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Scott Poston,
Yes.
Nathaniel County,
Yes.
Marty Chandler,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Jason Barnes,
Yes. Okay, now we need a motion and a second to approve the bills and claims per the,
So much. Second.
motion by Marty, second by Nate.
He's got a question.
Okay.
I guess it'd be for the sheriff. We have a claim here for Bart Blythe for personal equipment lost in the accident. Did the insurance pay him, we had to pay him back, or insurance not covered?
There was some stuff, that vehicle, because of potential litigation, has been ordered for nothing to be done, but we're supposed to keep it in the parking lot and not get anything else out of it. Bart had a few police-related items that he had purchased himself that are still in that vehicle.
Okay.
They were not part of the insurance settlement. They were trivial amount, I think it's $200-something altogether, but
Yeah.
they were items that, legitimate police items that the sheriff's office is now purchasing to refurbish him from what he lost.
Okay. It just stuck out when I.
Yeah, no, it's, like the cage is crushed in the back, and there's what we call an organizer that you put your stuff in, that's strapped up under, that's like one of the items.
Okay.
There are things we can't get out that were his that we should.
Okay. All right.
I'm ready for Marty Chandler,
Yes.
Nathaniel County,
Yes.
Scott Poston,
Yes.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Mason Barnes,
Yes. Excuse us. So, moving on to reports, I'm sorry about that. Magistrate Thurman got a message that's a little disconcerting. So I'll share that with you. Going into reports. As most of you know, a longtime Magistrate Larry Randolph's health's not very well, but Myron got a message this morning that his daughter passed away. So please, please, everyone keep Mr. Randolph and his family in your prayers. That's unbelievable news. So, moving on to some reports. Amy Ellis had sent me a message that the Renaissance is going to get the landscaping redone around the bandstand area. Don't forget, census papers are going out. They'll be going out, I think, toward the end of February. And for the first time ever, you're going to get to do your census online. Then, gentlemen, in y'all's box, you've got this invitation to a retirement for Christy Ramey. Just be sure to pick that up. And then on February 20th in Frankfort is the Kentucky Magistrates Legislative Day. If you're interested in going to that, let Pam know so she can get you signed up for that. Marty, do you have anything?
Have ambulance board meeting at noon. Everything, Bill's doing a good job with the ambulance board. And library board meeting in the morning, so I don't really have anything this morning.
All right. Nate?
Nothing this time. Both of my boys will meet next week, so the following meeting I will have reports on.
Scott?
No.
Sheriff, you have anything?
No, sir.
Jailer?
No, sir.
Carter, you have anything with planning and zoning? Chief, you have anything? Bob, you have anything? Bob? I know, Bill, you've got a report under maintenance. We're ready.
This report right here that I'm handing out, we're not going to really discuss today, but it's information that when I went up on the roof and inspected the roof, and some things that I found that some of them have to do with the roof and some of them don't. You all can look over them, and then if you have any questions about it, you can contact me or come back to the next board meeting and ask me. The report that I'm handing you now is actually for the roof. Eric, you want to copy? Disregard on the report that I'm going over now, not report A, but the other one. Disregard all the times I put, dates and times. I'm trying to do this more, so if I'm finding out when you're dealing with contractors and other people that they seem to forget that they talked to you and gave you information. So I'm trying to keep more time and down to the hours and the minutes, but I'm just gonna, after our last meeting, that afternoon, after our last court meeting, I went to the jail, and it was a pretty day, halfway. I spent about an hour and a half up on the roof. And the things that you see here are the things that I found. There's roof one where the fibers were exposed, and then we had a couple sections where the roofing was not connected to the drain, and it actually come loose. And we probably had some water going up underneath the drain. Found a couple exposed holes in the roof, and there was rotted wood under the gas line supports. There was trash and screws and Freon tank, unused refrigeration unit up there. And then one thing that caught my eye was the hail damage. We had hail damage on the roof. I really couldn't pinpoint a lot of the roof, but I did notice that some of the air conditioner units, the condensers, had been beaten up pretty bad. So that sent up a flag that we'd had some damage up there, and I didn't know if there'd ever been a claim put on that. So the next day, that afternoon, I called the roofer. Next morning, met with him around 8:30. He looked at the roof. He spent a long time up there with me. Then he sent two guys back later that afternoon to make more details. He said the roofing was old and worn, but it was very, very repairable. That's a pretty residual roof. It's tough. It's a hot seam roof. When I looked over it and when he looked over it, we didn't find any seams that had actually come loose. So there's it's still all seamed up. Found a couple of wrinkles where around one of those drains where the water went up under the drain and caused the roof to buck up some, and that's going to be addressed. One of the things I noticed too was the parapet walls up there. There's a lot of them because it's a wall between every division of the building, and they have a rubber membrane on them, and I'm assuming it's like the one that's put on a part of the roof. But I did notice that the parapet wall caps were not there. There's gaps in them. Some of them stood over a 1/4 inch. So, and I knew that probably wasn't causing leaks, so we'd have a whole lot more water if they were actually leaking. So when the roofer came, I asked him about that, and I said, I'm not really concerned about it, except that we probably get water underneath that parapet caps. And in the wintertime, it could freeze, and it eventually work, making the screws come loose. And he agreed with me, but at the time he said, I just don't know what we need to do about that. And we'll be talking about that later on, because we'll probably use a polyurethane that expands and contracts and so forth. But we'll deal with that a little bit later on. He confirmed that we had hail damage in the roof drains and addressed exposed roof fibers. He said even though the roof looks like it's good, where those fibers are exposed, they're like a little bitty sieve that water would gradually soak through them and go underneath it. It needed to be addressed. So after he confirmed that we had hail damage, Wednesday, the next morning, I had Nicole contact the CACO, the insurance company, and we submitted a claim for that roof. And I got we got an email back from him that he wanted to meet with me, and he set up a date to meet me on the 13th, which was a Monday. So also on that date, when we filed the claim, I went to talk to James Mechanical for a history of the HVAC units up there, because when I was up there, I noticed all the fresh air intakes had been capped off. So we had a conversation about fresh air intake into the building, and that was in my report. That's in that second report that I've already met with Eric and Chad and the maintenance staff down there, and they're already in the process of addressing that. We're going to see what we need to do to get that taken care of, where we have some fresh air coming into that building down there. After I did a walkthrough with Scott down there, I wasn't as concerned as I was before, because I've got that back hall back there. There's a grass back there that really was blowing some air, and I think that's from the issues they've had with the conditioned air between the lower ceiling and the roof, where they've actually had to put in air conditioner units to condition that air to keep the building from sweating. So after that meeting on the 13th, I met with the insurance adjuster, Mr. Ben Barnes, came down, met with him about 9:30 on Monday morning. He did find minimal damage of hail damage. We found some of the stuff that I thought was hail damage was actually from a green mold that's up there. That green mold, because I couldn't figure out why there'd be a dot, there'd be a kind of expanded part around it. But this fungus kind of starts there, it kind of spreads out, and it pops off the shingle, the sand coating off of them and causes more damage. But there was some places that were probably about that big around that had some, where they took the roofing surface right off. And he circled probably about 10 or 12 over the whole roof, and he said that hail damage was probably sometime when we had golf-sized hail. So he said the damage was minimal. I showed him the air handlers and the damage on them, and he verified that, yes, they had been hit with some hail, and that, of course, we could repair that with a fin cone. Eric's probably got one. If not, we'll get him one. You just comb out those damaged spots so you get all your air moving through the condenser like you need to. On the 14th, I met with the jailer and the maintenance staff down there, and we talked about some of the issues that were in that report A. And in fact, Chad's already taken care of some of them. He's had the roof swept, cleaned, and some of the items that were up there have been removed. And I had addressed to him about maybe some of their guys could, if we decide to seal the parapet wall caps, their bunch could probably save us some labor by, somebody overseeing and capping them. But then we were going to wait and talk to the roofer, because the roofer did say in his quote that that's something they need to address. And if you look on the 14th, if you're looking, you've got a sheet there that shows the proposal. It's got Waterman on it. That's his proposal for the roof. It just simply says that he's going to address all the issues that we talked about. He's going to fix the drain. He's going to put a coating where the roof fibers have come through. And he's going to fix some of the wrinkles, going to cut them and actually hot seal them back down and then put this coating on there. So, according to his bid, what we're trying to do with this bid is get the building dry. That was my number one thing, stop the water from coming into the building. So that's what this proposal is going to do. He's going to address everything where he felt like there was water infiltration in the building, and he's going to fix those. And if you see the total down there about midway through, he said, I think we can accomplish this with a budget of $8,300. And that's on all the roof. That's including sheriff's office. I had him look. I just said this whole roof is at the same time, been put on at the same time. The drains are the same, and so we're going to redo all the drains of the whole building up there, of the area. There's probably 15 or more of them. And he's actually going to cut them out, put a new flashing, go up under the roof. And so this is what, and I know this person, this Waterman, is actually the gentleman that did this building. And if I've had any issues, he always takes care of them. There's no more charge. He guarantees his work. He's a Simpson County. He does very good work. He does a lot of work in Nashville. So I don't have any issues with him. I've been dealing with him for several years. He just fixed the leak on a standing seam down at the old jail that was really difficult to find. So he's taking care of that. So I'm really pleased that he provided the bid, and I feel very comfortable with what he said he's going to do. If you look back on the report on the 16th, I received a call from Mr. Barnes, the adjuster, and he stated that the quote of $8,300 was very reasonable. He added he would move forward with this amount being on a claim, less than $500 deductible. He asked me to, and I said, I told him I was fine with it. I was probably jumping up and down and doing everything on the phone, because I couldn't believe they were doing that. So he asked me if there's anybody I need to contact, and I told him I did need to contact Judge Barnes. I did so, and he felt the same way, that it's a very fair amount. I got another email, and I replied to him and saying that Judge Barnes was satisfied with the quote, and I received another. At 10:18 that same morning, I received an email stating that the matter was concluded and the check was in the mail. So my next move will get Waterman to get all those places fixed and sealed. And then if you look on his bid, he talks about that we needed to do something within a 5-year period. It's down at the bottom of the big paragraph. He said these repairs will last years and give you a great advantage for looking at a total reworking of the roof when we need to be addressed in the next 5 years. So I feel like we can start off by getting this roof we're going to be up to $500, but for the $500 we could get the building sealed up, and then we can start working on sections at a time. he talked to me about some coatings. There's a new coating that just come out, it's a 30-year warranty, that, I know the Justice Center, we put that, the vinyl roof on that, it was averaging around $11 square foot. And this coating would average around $3. So it's a good roll-on, brush-on sealer that would have a 30-year warranty on it. He said not only will it'll help insulate the building, it'll make it soundproof from, more noise from up above, it'll help with the soundproofing of it. So we didn't discuss any more in the details, and I didn't get any information on the sealers just yet. I wanted to move forward, I wanted to get this done, and then as the funds become available, this will allow the jailer and the court to begin working on our budget to get, so that we start maybe do a section or two a year. That we do a section 1 year, we pick the worst, we get that coated, and we move on and go all the way down. Because I would like for the sheriff's office, I'd like for that roof to be coated too. Probably the sheriff's office and the room, the building next to them, probably the best too, because there's no equipment up there. There's nothing to bring rust down, or it just, there seemed to be in the sand, there's not as much wear because people are walking on them, getting to the air handlers and putting in vents and hoods and so forth. The others have some wear and tear from people walking on them. So I would start on the railroad side and move this way and do the sheriff, and that last building of the jail is one of the last. But that would be my hope, that we can move forward within maybe even this spring with one section of the roof, if the funds will be available for us to get that. So that's where I am on the roof. If you all want to do a motion, we can. Just need to go ahead and move forward with this.
I would think we have to do a motion to authorize this work. I think it'd be the safest thing to do.
It'd probably be the safest thing to do. I think most of the time, like right now, we can spend $30,000 without really more bids and maybe without motion, but I prefer motion.
Yeah.
So it's in the court record that, they have looked at the bid and they're comfortable with the bid and the insurance claim, everything, it puts it all in the package.
Are we gonna put this insurance claim into the building fund, or the repairs and maintenance in the jail budget? And then pay that $500 out of the
We
jail
can do a
budget?
couple different things. I mean, the building maintenance and repair in the jail still has plenty of money in it, so what we can do is pay for it from there and go ahead and proceed forward, and when we get the check, we can turn around and work towards an amendment to replenish that cost. Or we can come out of the general fund right now and do the same amendment to
Yeah, I think the check would be here.
properties, but I would rather keep it within the jail so it's easier to track. But
Okay.
is that good with y'all? Good. Yeah, I mean, the amendment, we can get ready for amendment at the next meeting, and, once we go through 2 readings, that will be right back in that account, so.
I believe we'll be waiting for a little bit better weather before we start putting, anything up there anyway. I am going to ask them to address some of the holes and the slits in the rubber roofing that was found, so we can get some of that water from start coming in, especially in the foyer area and the monitor room up there.
And so, Bill, when they come back to make these repairs that we're talking about for this $8,300, at that point, will he be able to kind of give us an estimate on what it would cost to get this coated?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get talk to Bob. I actually would like to have trying to get a aerial view, satellite view of the roof, and we can get some square footages, and then we can start, I know I would probably like to start, some of the fibers are showing back on the newest part of the high jail, back where the newest part. There's some fibers showing back on there that needs to be addressed. So the drain up there on that side actually has some grass and vegetation growing around it that's in some of your photos. But I'd like to get them taken care of back there. And then there's a kind of an alleyway that comes between them two and down to the east side. And then you got the big rubber roof that really doesn't need anything except some places that are actually pulled apart. So, yeah, we'll address that, and I'll have him bring me some specifications on the sealer, because I know there's a lot of them out there, and the one he talked about really sounds good with the 30-year warranty.
So we do have to say KCO pretty much stepped up on this to cover this as an insurance claim too. So.
Because he told me minimal damage, so when he left, I was like, you know,
minimal damage usually means minimal coverage.
But he said.
Did he think that there would be any help when he goes to do the rest of the roof? I mean, from insurance? No, probably not.
I doubt it.
No, this is pretty much going to be it. Because this was taken into considering the whole roof, not just the places that were bad. He actually marked the roof. We went from one end to the other. He marked the hail damage with a blue pen.
The coating would probably be considered more routine maintenance.
That's what he said. The roof coating would be considered under, regular maintenance.
Yeah.
So I felt like if we got it one time and we got the building sealed up where we went under a lot of pressure to try to get then we could work on maintaining the roof. And if we ever get that 30-year sealer on there, I don't think, I'm not going to be worried about it, that's for sure.
So I guess, gentlemen, we just need a motion to accept the Waterman Building Services proposal for repairs at the jail roof of $8,300. I was catching Scott out of my eye and you out of my ears. So Scott with the motion and Nate with the second.
Thank you, Bill.
Yes, thank you, Bill.
Scott Poston,
Yeah.
Nathaniel Taylor,
Yes.
Marty Chandler,
Yes.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Mason Barnes,
Yes. Jailer, do you have something to,
I just wanted to say I appreciate Bill and the work that he's done, him and Chad. They was working together simultaneously also, and it was done well. Very pleasant situation.
I wouldn't expect anything less. If there's no other business, I only need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A motion by Myron, second by Nate.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Nathaniel Taylor,
Yes.
Marty Chandler, Scott Poston,
Yes.
Mason Barnes.
Yes.